Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. We're here at RiskX in Rome with Mastercard. Joining us in the studio now is Jess Turner, Global Head of Open Finance and Developer Experience at Mastercard. Jess, it's great to have you in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's an exciting time.
It's a very exciting event, and you also have a very interesting role at Mastercard. You manage the developer experience, which puts you in a good position to shed some light on the way in which developers and engineers interact with new products and services, but also how that's evolving. Could you start there?
Absolutely. I certainly think my role is very, very exciting. The world has changed in such a material way, and developers have always been really, really important to our business and really to innovation in general. No matter what products we develop, if they're not easy to access, not easy to integrate, aren't keeping up with modern times, they're not useful because they're not distributed. With that and the rise of AI, it's only made this kind of core focus of how we develop what we're building even more important than ever. And even today, we made an announcement around why developers are so important to us, and that announcement is really around the world of Agentic AI. So if you can imagine today a world where people are discovering your products or integrating your products in one way, sometimes you're searching through Google. As a developer, you're using API documentation and you're coding from that documentation. And that's great, and that's still going to continue. But in this world of agentic AI, you have agents doing these things for you. And making things easy to understand is very, very important. And for that reason, we launched our Agentic Toolkit. What that does is it allows us to use an MCP protocol. And so that makes it easier for agents to access our universe and what products we have to offer on behalf of lots of things, like developers being able to code to our solutions more easily with the help of agents, as well as being discoverable by agents. So when you're asking whatever your preference is, whether it's Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, for something, now you can more easily find us, and you can find our products through our partners, because developers can access what we have more easily. So very, very exciting. At least I believe it is. And we'll continue to innovate. And this is what really fosters innovation and helps us grow our business and our partners to grow theirs, and ultimately help consumers and businesses.
Well, thank you for setting the scene and sharing that exciting announcement, a very interesting development from Mastercard there. So let's talk more about agentic technology. When we're looking at the developer experience and open finance, how do you think that technology is going to impact those technologies going forward?
Absolutely. So open finance is near and dear to my heart. We believe consumers and small businesses own their data, and that's going to continue to be a data principle for us. What sits at the heart of that is consent. What that means is you have to tell me that you want me to move your data to somebody else, and that when you don't want that anymore, you want to take it back. If you think about agentic AI and this idea of hyper-personalization, making sure when you're asking your large language model of choice, and ultimately an agent, what you want it to be for you. That's the purpose. In order to do that, there has to be some level of consent to get the right amount of information about you to do that. And one major area of that is finance. So if you think about open finance, you can think about the ability to give consent to an agent to access your financial data, so therefore you can get the best answers back. And so it's just one solution of many, but it's really at a crossroads of bringing in agents and making sure you're managing consent. And they come together. They come together in a way of hyper-personalization, especially in this world of financial empowerment. I can't imagine something more powerful than being able to streamline and have highly personalized financial solutions for your well-being.
So coming to open finance then, we're seeing a lot of movement in this space at a global scale. Talk us through the value of open finance in the wider financial ecosystem.
Absolutely. I'm a bit biased, but I believe this idea of unlocking open finance for consumers and small businesses can really change the way the world evolves. If you think about how much data there is in the world, and you think about financial freedom being how people are truly empowered, if consumers and small businesses can give access to their data to anybody they want, whether it be a different bank, whether it be a merchant or a lender, you can really change the way that they can live in a society that they may not be able to do without that. As an example, in the US, 1/5 of people are credit invisible. It doesn't mean they're not creditworthy. It means they're credit invisible. If you could just unlock that with access to information that's not traditionally reported to a credit bureau, so that lenders would be more likely to give them access or turn on a utility, that is a meaningful step forward, and that's one market. So imagine if you could do that at a global scale. And so that's the biggest extreme of the power that open finance can have. And you can go all the way into a use case experience that open finance helps, which could just be making things more convenient. So for example, if you want to open a new account, a new wallet, maybe even a crypto wallet, get some stable coins, open finance makes it so much easier to validate you are who you say you are, and you are associated to the bank account that wants to transfer that money. You can make that user experience so much easier with open finance. And there's so many use cases in between: payment choice, PFM, wealth management. But if you look at two extremes, one is let's make a user experience easier, all the way to opening up true financial freedom.
Mm-hmm. Jess, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring insights. It's certainly a space to keep an eye on and to watch the movement from Mastercard. But thank you very much. I'll let you get back to the event.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much.